Thanks for listening to Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast, keeping you up to date with the latest in American soccer. And don't forget to subscribe.
On this week's edition of Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast, we both have great opening takes as we discuss certain issues in American soccer. The MLS Cup playoffs are heating up and getting to their final stages. Houston and Seattle have finished their first leg, and so have Toronto and Columbus. We discuss the Houston-Seattle first match, and we also bring in two special guests to discuss Toronto and Columbus's from both their respective sides. All this on this week's episode of Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast.
Oh, hello. Hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. It's Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast. Steven Jodrin, Armand Kafai. This is a shortened edition. Focus on MLS and our opening takes. Got some fantastic guests coming on. We're going to discuss, we'll have a heavy focus on Columbus and Toronto because last episode was a heavy focus on Houston and Seattle. So we're going to return the favor. Armand, how's it going? Have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I had a great Thanksgiving, and now it's preparation for the end of the semester, finals, all that good stuff. I mean, that's part of the reason why we're having a shortened episode as well. We both have to focus on our studies and become really studious.
Yes.
But hey, big week in MLS. I'm still going to be watching. We're still both going to be watching. We're still going to talk about it. We got a show just for you guys out.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Armand, opening takes. I'm going to defer to you. What's your opening take?
Well, I told you it was going to be a surprise, and
yes.
Steven knows, and a lot of people, I've told a lot of people recently, I've been really delving deep into American soccer history. I recently purchased a Dallas Tornado jersey, actually, from the 70s. That smells
fantastic. Looks awesome.
It's beautiful. I'm going to wear it, and maybe listeners will see it one day. But my opening take was actually kind of an allusion to our past. We're seeing teams such as the San Francisco Deltas and FC Edmonton not being able to continue for the upcoming NASL season, and it looks like Miami FC is also on the verge of potentially falling, and the Cosmos have been struggling. The North Carolina FC have left the NASL, and many people are like, well, this is what you get, NASL. This is what you get for trying to be different than MLS, and that's essentially the message of what they're saying. I mean, to look at it, basically, you have, the MLS as a league with lots of league intervention, and you have the NASL with almost no league intervention. My take is, honestly, we shouldn't be cheering on the downfall of these lower leagues. As we've seen before, these lower leagues are what is going to help America grow in the soccer world. We need these lower teams, these towns to support these teams and whatnot. I can even allude to more. We've seen the Rochester Rhinos. We're seeing them not able to pay their bills, and we're seeing them falling apart. The only team that's ever won a U.S. Open Cup that's not an MLS side since their induction into the competition. We're seeing all these teams falling apart and folding, and yet we're wondering, is promotion and relegation still viable? It's kind of hard to say when we have teams just folding left and right. Let's go to the Cosmos. They're barely afloat. So we shouldn't be championing the loss of the NASL if it is to happen. We shouldn't. We need the NASL to grow and become better than ever. I do not like this attitude that I've been seeing on message boards. I've been seeing on Twitter. This is what you get. NASL is what you get. No, I think that's wrong. I think the Deltas had a really bad mindset, and Edmonton could never really attract their market. And then you have Miami, who's done everything, I'd say, right by investing in infrastructure, by grabbing big-name players. They played so much. They paid, I want to say, $750,000 for Kwandu Poku. They've brought in Nesta as their coach. Well, he's gone now. they've done so many things right, and now they're gone. Is that their fault? It's something that it's very anti-competition, if that makes any sense. From from an economic side, competition is what makes things thrive. So what we shouldn't be cheering on these teams failing. We should be attempting to figure out ways to help them back up and help them become a stronger league. And then you might have the infrastructure to create a promotion relegation, maybe between the USL and NASL or whatnot, or something. Maybe I really hope the USL says, hey, NASL teams, you want to join our league? Come along. If the teams want to go, they can. If they don't, then they fold. I don't like this mentality of, oh yeah, NASL, you tried doing, this thing without a salary cap or anything, and well, guess what? You're gone now. I don't like that mentality. I think it needs to change in order for soccer to become really. That's kind of a rant, I guess.
Wow, that was a mouthful. Fantastic.
To become really popular, I guess. Yeah, I mean, too much soccer history in my mind right now.
Armand has gone into the deep ends. No, Armand brings an important aspect and an important point. Is we cannot. I don't know. Yeah, what's the point of praising clubs going under? Aren't we not? Are people not complaining that MLS is single entity, especially the promotion relegation people? They should be absolutely horrified that clubs are going under, because if these clubs are going bye-bye, how are you going to have a promotion relegation system? Are you just going to be stuck with USL and MLS? No, you want that NASL. You want these multiple divisions, and you want history. I mean, the New York Cosmos, one of the most famous clubs in American soccer.
And people don't realize that how prominent the Cosmos were when they had Pelé, Beckenbauer, all these names. And I mean, like Steven said, I've kind of gone in the deep end with the U.S. soccer history, but look at the Cosmos matches and how they attracted the audience of New York. Rochester, it's a team that, we're hoping to potentially do an upcoming project on them, was a team that had MLS ambition, built a stadium, but couldn't get the MLS bid, and now here we are, they're about to fold. It's a really disheartening thing to see, and my heart goes out to those teams, such as supporters of those teams, of the Deltas, of Miami, of Rochester potentially, of Edmonton, because I don't think any team should have to go through a potential folding unless they need to, such as what MLS had to sadly do in, I want to say 2001 with the Tampa Bay Mutiny and Miami Fusion, and Chivas USA especially with that absolute mess. But if it's inevitable, it has to happen. But my heart goes out to those fans, and I really hope that one day these markets will be sustainable, and maybe we'll see the reemergence of the NASL, a league with so much history that was basically one of the founding leagues of soccer.
Yes,
as we know it today.
Well, Armand's got a fantastic opening take. Tweet us at UncSamSoccerPod. For my opening take, we're going to shift to what's going on right now. Michael Bradley, who I have bashed for quite some time.
Everything.
Literally everything. And then he opens
Michael Bradley breathes. Steven has something to complain about.
Yes. And then last week he opened his mouth. On one hand, you feel for the small group of loyal supporters that they have who have been here since the beginning, who continue to support the team and come out week after week. Speaking of the Columbus Crew, #Save the Crew. On the other hand, you can't deny the fact that things here have fallen behind in terms of atmosphere in the stadium, the quality of the stadium, and what's it like to play here. I don't know who's at fault for that. From what I gather, there's a lot going on, and I get that. As an outsider, I don't know what that falls on. But again, the reality is just that. As the league has continued to grow and grow, and this is not the only one, but this is the one of a few markets that have not kept up pace. Wow. Fantastic. I love this. A moment of truthfulness. The moment that you realize these players are not blind to what's going on. In fact, I think they get pissed when they put their heart and soul, and you walk out to a stadium that has only 12,000 people. You know, 7 is a quite small number, and it's not realistic.
That's too small.
Too small. But even when you walk out when there's only 15,000, or you can feel the emptiness or see the emptiness of the crowd, you got to begin to wonder and go, what am I doing? And Michael Bradley's speaking that. And this is a problem, this is a problem with all the original teams. Chicago, Dallas, Colorado, New England. You're having a real issue with stadiums and fans and just putting butts in the seats. And when the captain of the United States men's national team comes out and says something, you've got an issue.
You really do. The thing I like is a lot of people dislike Bradley for what he said because obviously he is very anti hashtag save the crew.
Yep.
But he's not wrong. And we're not just saying it's just the crew. Colorado, Dallas, you listed a couple others, even Philadelphia, one of the newer markets is
New
struggling.
England.
It's something that we need to look at, and I think, as I said, I want to say last episode, we need to move towards helping these original sides. I think these original sides
Especially
are set
off
at
the
disadvantage.
field.
They're set on disadvantage, and at the disadvantage, what are you going to do? It's hurting the league in some aspects, and the league has to look up and say either step up or we'll do something about it. Make it something else. I mean, also part of it I think has to do as an economics major, this is my natural tendency, but maybe even a lack of competition when it comes to. I feel like FC Dallas is like, okay, well, we're like the last fiddle in the whole thing, so we don't really need to, compete.
Well, same with
with
Colorado.
Exactly.
Same with the Crafts with New England. We're not going under. What's the point?
Yeah, we're not the top. We're not the top dogs in the area. We're never going to be. So let's just be who we are.
Yeah.
And just try to attract these. I mean, that's my thought process. 'Cause I mean, in Seattle, I mean, they have opportunity to be a top dog. In Orlando, they are virtually the top dog. In Atlanta, you could say that Atlanta United is the top dog. But I mean, I think these teams have been. I mean, look, the Dallas Tornadoes used to play in Texas Stadium, and they'd get 20,000. That was in Irving, and to tell me that this. On a complete side note, Steve, I'm going to sidetrack. I might derail your thing. The location of Toyota Stadium is a very minor issue in my opinion because Irving isn't Dallas. I mean, it's kind of Dallas, but not really. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
but
I can give you three examples where the clubs don't play. Colorado plays in Commerce City. That is outside of Denver. Kraft and New England Revolution are in Foxborough. That's outside of Boston.
How much do they attract for the Patriots?
Yeah, well, you could say the same thing with the Cowboys.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think location should be an issue.
I do think locations are issues.
I don't think so because, like you mentioned, because I'm actually going to take this from Peter Welton's article on thirddegree.net that Resiah read for recently reemerged. When you realize that Atlanta United's county is smaller than the county Frisco is in, Collin County,
yeah.
I think that says something.
Well,
I think
okay.
there is something there.
Yeah, but Atlanta United has done a brilliant job marketing some. Where in Dallas or where in Colorado or where do I've never seen any of that.
That's what I'm saying. The issue isn't the location. It's a tiny part of the issue.
Well, it's
but
tiny.
I think I think the marketing is a lot more. You see what I'm saying?
No, yeah, it's a tiny issue, but it's something that we can definitely go further into the off season. Up next, we're gonna talk.
I derailed you.
You did derail me. We're gonna talk about Toronto FC and the Columbus Crew playoffs. Here we go.
Playoffs.
Alrighty, listeners, we got a special announcement. Right now, joining us is Steve Gennaro. He is the director of All In Sports Network. Talks about Toronto FC quite a bit. How's it going, Steve?
Everything's going great. Thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let's talk about All In Sports Network because we recently joined. Just tell the listeners where we can find the network and just a little bit about it.
Sure, yeah.